Welcome back to The Boring Show. I'm Tia, and this is my co-host, Craig.
And we are here today to kind of demystify implicitly animated widgets. We were talking before about what we wanted to make, and one thing that popped in our heads was the idea, everyone kind of knows the animated container, the animated positioned. There's a ton of them, whatever all the other ones are. And they're pretty neat because you just change your value from one frame to the next, probably via set state or whatnot. And the widget kind of evolves, right? It interpolates, it linearly interpolates from the old value that you passed it to the new value. And we thought, how on earth do those work? So we're going to build one. And at the end, we'll appreciate how cool the animated container is. And we'll never build another one again, so we'll use the animated container. But sometimes, actually, all kidding aside, you may find a thing that you want to animate in one of your widgets, and you'd like to really encapsulate it, and this pattern can be pretty nice. So, any other thoughts, Tia?
No, I'm interested because I haven't done much animation, so this would be quite cool.
All right. Well, let's get our fingers dirty. If our keyboards are going to get our fingers dirty, we have other problems. All right, so we're in a fresh Flutter Create, and I'm going to do the old initial get rid of the comments. So grab everything and get rid of them. And then we'll allow VS Code to reformat for us. Okay, you didn't get it.
No.
We've desynced.
But I am following you.
The live wow. Really? Oh, maybe refresh because that is super busted. Anyway, so to start, let's just draw a simple widget and then worry about implicitly animating it later. So we have
in a stateful widget, right?
Right, great question. I am unaware of any way to make an implicitly animated widget without having it be a stateful widget. Because it's going to have to be able to know the difference between its old value and its new value. It's going to have to know, it's going to have an animation controller. It's going to have to do all those things. So yeah, it's going to have to be a stateful widget. And it looks like you are now synced up again.
Yes, I am synced.
Okay. So we're just in the fresh Flutter Create. So we're pretty much ready to delete all the things. We do want the scaffold. So I guess let's just put a scaffold here. How about that? Or are you going to put a widget? No, yeah, we'll put a scaffold and then we'll add our own widget to it. So this is body, right? And should we call it? We call the project implicit widget, which is the incomplete name of what we're trying to do. What should we call it? The implicit widget?
That. Yeah.
All right. Great.
Yeah. Do you want me to clean up?
Sure.
I've cleaned up.
Oh, but now I didn't get that. Whoa, it's weird. Look, I got it on the sidebar, but not in the main bar. Oh, I wonder if it's because I also had unsaved changes. So I'm going to save, and it may come back.
Okay.
Oh, this is just working poorly. Unfortunately. Yeah, nice. Well, I'll delete it again. And are you seeing a 5 type?
Yeah, no, I don't see anything. Should I refresh again?
This is really quite poor.
Oh, no.
We'll figure it out. Okay, so we're going to make a new stateful widget. Stateful. There it is. And it's called implicit widget. All right. Oh, are we PubSpec? I'm surely on the new stuff. So this should be Dart at least 17. I'm actually just going to set this back to 17 for now. That's all I'm willing to commit to. There we go. And this means we can use super parameters, which is very exciting. So this will be just super.key, and we can get rid of all this. Brand.
Oh, that's
how do I do that?
A lot cleaner.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what the Dart folks thought. That's why they made it. Not going to worry about this const lint because we're about to bust that completely wide open. Next, the things that we want to. Let's maybe like center this because we're gonna, and then we'll build as soon as we decide what we want to what we want to implicitly animate. So
Okay.
the animated container is probably the most common, implicitly animated widget out there. And why don't we just make the lowest budget animated container of
Yep.
all time? All right. So ultimately, this already returns a container. Brilliant. What properties do we want to animate on our container?
It's probably the color.
That was
Yeah.
coming to mind for me as well.
Okay.
So we'll say final color. And what if we did the name of the color?
Then okay.
Like we could
So the
show,
text.
the text. We could have
Okay.
a text widget. And one thing that is kind of fun, you can, it's very common to use animated animation controllers for, the kind of expected things where your mind always goes color, border radius, elevation, whatever else. But you can animate anything. You can animate strings from one value to the next. And I think that would be fun. So let's have another parameter that is not text, but a string, and it's a color name. And then here we'll say required this dot color and required this dot color name. So we haven't done anything with our, let's give this some like size, I guess, so we can see it. So let's say size, or
Length.
that's not even
Yeah.
close to it. Yep. Height,
Yeah.
200, width, 200. And then its child will be probably another center widget with a text widget showing our color name.
Will it respond to something like a user?
Oh, yeah, we are going to have a way to switch. What? String color. Oh, it's widget.color and widget.color name. Widget.color name. And then the container will have a background color, which is just that color. And that's also widget.color. Okay. What is this? How do we already do 5 things wrong? Oh, right. We do owe it these new parameters. So just to show ourselves that we've written something that renders, what color do we want to start with?
Blue.
A classic. An oldie but a goodie. And then color name will be blue. And again, okay, fine. We'll just say const. So let's build this. And we're on Mac OS. That's good. That's what I always like to use. Start debugging. Okay, so while this spins up, we're going to need, you mentioned like a way to kind of tell the app that we're changing states.
Yep.
How do you
Or
want
would
to
like to. So, I mean, typically you'd want to tap something maybe.
Okay. So a gesture detector
Okay.
around the widget itself.
Okay, makes sense.
So I think we should put it up here. This gesture detector is going to take a function. It makes me suspect, how timely. But there it is. It makes me suspect that this, I don't know if this is going to be able to stay stateless forever, but for now, we'll say gesture detector run u, detector.
Oh, I see why it
child.
can't be, because you'll need to know what to pass it and if it's changed.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So on tap is going to do something, and then this is maybe. Can you not be constified? Because your constitution does not allow for this. So const. Okay. So this seems good. We're going to need to. So the whole point of an implicitly animated widget is that. And by the way, is it working for you
It
right
isn't.
now? It
So,
isn't. So for you to drive, you'd need to stand here.
yes.
What a travesty.
So you are driving.
The plan was to pass it back and forth. But you'll be brainstorming with me.
Right.
So the whole point of an implicitly animated widget is that you pass a new value and it animates to the new value. So, we're going to need to pass new things here, right? So I think let's convert this into a stateful widget. use that handy
That
dandy.
is very, very nice.
Oh, do you all not have that?
Well, we do, but you also know how to type it all out, so.
Oh, well. So now we're going to have we could store, basically what I'm imagining for this demo is that we kind of have a couple states that we toggle between when we use this gesture detector, and then it will maybe move an index. So we could have like final list of colors that'll be colors, and that'll equal, we already said colors dot blue is where we start, and then let's just say colors dot what's not blue? Quick,
red,
name another color.
Red.
Okay. Woo. So after that, then we have our list of strings, which is going to be the color names. And so this will be, oh, we shouldn't give it like fancy marketing names, like Azure Sky. And then for red, it'll be, what's a good like?
Red is usually.
What's the name of your lipstick? What's the name of that color?
This is Icon.
Icon red. Great. And then we need to know our, I didn't mean to save. So now we need to know our index in these lists. So this could be just int index equals 0. And now in our app, we pass colors dot index, right? And color names dot index, and none of this is constifiable
because it now changes.
Because it changes.
Yeah.
And then if we just do this part, then we should at least be able to toggle it back and forth, and it'll snap from value to value, right? So we can in here call set state, and that takes a closure. And in this closure, we will first flip the index. So index equals, if the index equals 0, then the new value is 1.
Yeah.
Otherwise 0.
Yeah.
Does that check out?
Index.
It doesn't think it does. Oh no, I wrote it totally wrong.
Yeah, I think
Really, just couldn't have been more wrong. So the index equals 1, then we go to 0, otherwise 1. Okay.
No, that's good.
That was really far off.
That's fine.
Samsonite.
We got there in the end.
I was way off. And now we can just, that's actually it. Because we didn't have a single variable for like color and color name anymore. So we're actually done. So let's save this. And it didn't love that we changed it to a stateful widget. So I'm expecting we have to do this. And now, it didn't like something. What we did. Main.dart. My app. Huh? What's going on? My app is not a subtype of stateless widget in typecast. I'm starting over. I have no faith in the thing. Do you know why that happened?
I was going to just scroll down your code, but I can't. I was going to see if you've done anything when we just converted it, but
really
there was nothing crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm used, whenever you change a stateless widget to a stateful widget, or vice versa, I think it's probably not common to go in the other direction. It gets upset for a minute, but then you do a full restart, and then it's happy. And it wasn't happy. You want to do the honors? You want to click it? All right. Wow. We did it. So.
But that's not very animated, is it?
Not very animated.
Not very animated.
Very snappy.
Yeah. So
it's time. And you mentioned that you've not done a ton with animation.
No.
Have you done anything with your own animation controller?
No.
All right. Well,
I've played around with it, but nothing beyond.
Well, you can be my spotter and my Googler.
Yeah.
Because we're going to need to look some stuff up.
Okay.
So down here in our implicit widget, we have a couple things that we need to do. First, we need an animation controller. So in our state class, we will create an animation controller, and we'll call it controller. And then in our init state, we can first initialize. controller equals animation controller. And it needs some things it doesn't have yet. Duration and access to the clock, the real world clock provided by Flutter. And its way to get that is by saying with single ticker, that's the one. And that now makes our whole state class know how to keep time. So we can say vsync is this, and then we need a duration. How long should our animation take?
2 seconds.
Okay. Const, duration, seconds, 2. Now, instead of having me just type the whole time,
yeah,
you want to keyboard back and forth?
Yeah, let's do that.
So we're in the middle of everything right now. Yeah, okay, but you can have a turn at the wheel.
Awesome. All right. So do we need to initialize anything else here?
Well, actually, the first thing, why doesn't it like our controller?
It's not like this. Because we need to put that in.
Nice. Right. Okay, so we have an animation controller, and now the next thing that we need, this widget needs to know when its current value is different than the last value. And there is just such a life cycle hook in the life of a stateful widget. What is it? Did widget update? Something like that. Okay. Let's see if that gives us any kind of autocomplete if you start typing that.
It's just...
Yeah, try just did to start. Did widget update.
Did you make this up? Oh, that looks...
Now, one thing I would expect is if we have the right name, it should be telling us we need to override it. See, now it may be telling us, we're overriding something that has no structure.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not right. Did update widget, probably.
Did update
widget.
Okay.
Did widget update is a question.
Did update widget.
Yeah, now what's it mad about? Oh, must call super. Okay. Oh, you have the very unfortunate situation of using someone else's keyboard shortcuts.
This is going to be tough.
Yeah, nobody... Okay. It is tough. Okay, so the parameter that this is passed is the type of our widget.
Okay.
So that is a...
implicit widget?
Well, implicit widget.
Okay.
So you can grab that, and then that's called old widget, as we see.
Okay.
Right. Awesome. Okay. Now, in here is where we detect any differences, and if so, kind of push over some starting domino, which will animate the transition.
Okay.
So the values that we want to check, I think, are
colors and the
color
text.
Name.
Okay. All right. The name.
Oh yeah. What was it? Color name?
No, you are right. Just color name. So if old widget dot color name doesn't equal to the widget.
Widget. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yep.
If I spot it correctly. Oh, your down key is not where my down key is. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, you are coding on hard mode right now. Different keyboard shortcuts, different keyboard layout. It's impressive you're typing anything at all.
Okay, I'm going to. So both of them. Do we check for both of them or?
Oh, that's a good question. So I think we do want to trigger off either one.
Yep.
Yeah, I was wondering, do we want to check for them in the same line?
Or in a separate line?
Or like in same if statement, sorry. Mm-hmm. Because if we do check them in the same if statement, then once we get inside, we wouldn't know necessarily which one changed.
Yes.
So we'd have to be committed to like...
If one changes, we will be changing the other one.
Yeah. Mm. And we might be like interpolating the same value to itself. Let's keep going.
Just color name?
Oh, no, I think, let's put it all in one line. Okay. This might present an edge case later, but we'll find out. Nice.
Okay.
So...
If that happens,
then we need to push over some domino. We need to start something. So what do you
Make
think?
some
Right in
magic
here or new
happen.
method?
New method probably
Okay.
makes sense. Okay, so let's call it animate widget.
Sure.
Or,
Yeah.
Not that.
That was an unhelpful.
That was not helpful.
I call this auto incorrect,
Yeah.
where you type the
Okay.
right thing and it's like, what if I screwed up? For you?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, nice. So in here, we're finally ready to start the party. So we need we have our controller, and now we need a tween, right?
Okay.
And the tween class is just called tween.
Okay.
So let's make a new variable, I guess. Final tween equals. Yeah, capital T tween is the class, and then I think it has a type. You want to command click on the tween, unless you know.
I don't. So
Like go to definition or command click. Either of those. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So it double goes here.
Okay.
Like lowercase d,
Lowercase.
right? Yeah. And nice. Now let's see what the constructor on this is, because this is a class. So now we can open up the constructor. Oh, but just beginning and end. And
Yep.
they are probably T. Wait, can you want to scroll down a little bit? Let's see. Yeah, T. Okay, nice. So the convention here is to say begin 0, end 1.
Okay.
That's just, you could have any values, but this makes the math, have no unnecessary complication to it.
Unrelated to our duration then.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
So what's going to happen is this will animate. This will basically move a value. It'll start at 0. It'll take 2 seconds as specified by our duration.
Okay.
And it will march its way on up to the end value of 1.
1. Okay.
And I'm trying to remember. We might just need to Google this. The next thing that we write here, I can literally never remember in my entire
Okay.
life.
Do you want me to Google it? Should I Google it
Sure.
on my machine?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I can also potentially Google so they can see the results.
Okay. Fine.
So we need, this is from months ago. We need to look up Flutter animation. Let's see, tween animations tutorial. That seems promising.
Oh, yes.
So searching here for tween.animate. Okay. So we got this far. That was pretty good. Oh, we skipped a step though. Oh, int tween? You don't want that. Huh?
Is this telling it what
Curved
type of
animation?
animation?
Oh, so that creates a curve value, which it looks like it gets passed here. Sorry, what was the last thing you
I was
said?
going to say, is that telling it what type of animation it should be doing?
Yeah.
Is that what that line is?
Oh, I bet int tween is just a tween with type int. Probably. That's what I'm going to tell myself. So I think if we copy this and come back here, and then do you want to keep driving? Or,
Yeah.
Okay. I guess you could have just Googled it then. We didn't even need to pass it back.
That's okay.
So we said int tween, but we already made our tween.
Okay.
Right. So I think line 88, yeah, that's a little no good. But we need to call this animate method. That's what's.
So can we just call that on there?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And then the curve variable is what was passed in.
So we want to go above that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
nice. Okay. All right. Now we need a listener. There's 2 more things we need to do. And on one of them, I always spend a significant amount of time wondering why my animation doesn't start. So we
Okay.
need to add a listener so that as the animation moves, we can basically call set state incrementally.
Okay.
And then we need to start the controller. And that's what I always forget. So
add listener to,
yeah,
Okay.
tween.add listener. Yeah,
Okay.
nice.
and then
And now, so have you added a listener? Have you done any of this before?
no.
No. Okay. So the way the kind of raw animation controller stuff works is we said before that this was going to march a double value that it keeps track of from our starting value of 0 to our ending value of 1. It's going to take 2 seconds to get there.
Okay.
And then 60 odd times per second, potentially faster on higher refresh rate screens, it's going to call this method. So at every step of the way, we're not going to know how much time has passed. That's not our job. That was the vsync. We just know some amount of time has passed, and critically, I forget if it's it's probably tween.value will be our progress
Okay.
on the path from 0 to 1. So we're going to call set state here and update. Why don't we just start with the color?
Okay.
And we'll do the color name in a minute.
So based on the tween value, we'll...
Yeah.
Okay.
So are you familiar with like color.lerp and all that?
A little bit.
Okay.
Yes.
So, what are you writing here?
Well, I figured, would we use the tween value to determine what color, or would we do it based on...
Yeah, the tween value.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
So did you have what's your thought on the if statement?
So between 0 and... So if it's moving from 0 and 1,
Mhm.
so first half a color and then the second half a color, or...
Oh, I see.
Is that how it would work, or...
Well, I think we'll have to do that for the string name
Okay.
because strings don't have a lerp function.
Right.
But yeah, for the color,
Is it simpler?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I think so.
Okay.
So we'll just set our color value. So color equals.
Okay. Is it
Oh, and
widget
then
dot
we'll
color
need
to
to-
make one color?
We need a variable for that. Yeah, we can't
Yeah,
set
we
anything to
don't.
widget. So we'll need a
That's fair.
variable for this.
Okay.
Nice.
And do we set it...
Yeah, the initial. Oh, yeah.
We didn't pass anything in.
But widget.color.
Okay.
That'll be the first one,
Right.
naturally. And this, of course, gets only run once. So that won't be run again as the value changes.
Okay.
And maybe, does that need to be late? Yeah, I think it
Ah.
was your
okay.
genius from the
Yes.
last time.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So we saved our initial color, and now we're ready to move from that color to the target every frame. So
Okay.
what we are setting this to is color, or maybe it's colors, probably color.lerp. Oh, there it is.
Singular, yep. So is it starting, ending color?
And percentage of the way. So our
Okay.
starting color is color, except I can already see how this is going to be problematic because we keep overwriting color. We'll think about that in a moment. Widget dot color. That
Really?
seems right. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
so old and then new.
yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And then this is tween dot value, I believe. Okay.
If the squigglies go away, then you're right.
Wait, they didn't. So, oh, right. Color.lerp. I don't know why lerp returns a nullable color, but we're pretty sure it'll be a real color. So, yeah.
Okay.
Nice. Okay. Now, we already said, well, first of all, do we think this is going to work? Like at all? Oh, no.
Let me
Because
see.
of the second
but-
thing.
Go on. Go on.
We have to start the controller.
Right. Okay. So the forward,
Yeah, yeah.
I do it outside the listener.
Yes.
Okay.
So here, yeah, it's controller forward.
Yep.
And then, no from. We don't care about that. Okay. This looks good. You ready?
Yeah. Do you have hot reload on this?
Command S.
Okay.
It must be a different button for you.
Yes, Shift
There
R.
we go. Shift R?
Yeah, for reload.
Oh, because you go from the command line.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
All right. So, yeah, let's switch back to the UI.
No. Where is your...
So I would do 3 up,
Okay.
grab, and click it. Oh, good. Controller has not been initialized. We may have typed for a long time without running anything. So let's just...
We have the control there.
Yeah, we did. But
Oh, should I just rebuild
yeah,
it?
hot restart. Yeah, the green circle. That's the equivalent of your Shift R.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Still wrong. What do we do? It's really quite the stack trace. Well, no, it was right. It's committed to us not having initialized that.
Okay.
So I guess it's on line 28. I think. Oh, gesture detector?
28 is here.
What is it talking about? Oh, wait. And then implicit widget main 1. Animated widget. Oh, I guess it's line 86.
Yeah. It's a bit lower.
Controller. I really thought we did that in its state.
Completely perfect. Code. 86. So this line?
Yeah. So wait, we scroll up.
Mm-hmm.
What? Really looks initialized. How? Can we put a print statement in the init?
Okay.
Let's just see. Okay. And then what do you think about putting another one after the super call? What if the super call can't be getting.
Here, within the.
I was thinking maybe like between 67 and 68
Okay.
to see if it's somehow the super call is like leading to something else happening. Nice. All right. Save. We did save. Very good. Nope. Wait a minute.
Does it need to be rebuilt?
This time it didn't error.
It didn't error. Didn't. Yeah. Okay, we're good.
Nice. Never in doubt.
We did write perfect code. Okay.
All right, so it's still very snappy. Oh, but we knew there was the like starting color thing. So if we go to our animate widget method, I think line 94 is like eating its own tail, right? Because every frame through we say animate from color to the target color at a certain percentage. But that color variable doesn't keep holding on to our initial color.
Okay.
Right in the beginning, it's blue. And then we click it and widget.color becomes red. And so we start animating from blue to red, except we overwrite the place that's storing blue. So then soon we start animating from like purple to red. And then we start animating from like almost red to red. Okay. But really we were only supposed to be not that far along the animation yet. So we need to save the initial color, which I think we can just do in that method. If we go back into animate widget, at the top, why don't we just say like starting color equals color?
Okay.
Yeah, do we need it up here? That's an interesting question.
Or maybe we don't need it. Just at the top of this one?
Yeah, maybe there. I think it might be good here. Yeah, nice.
Star color?
Sure.
Okay.
But boy, do we spell that word differently.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Oh,
okay.
Sorry.
All right. So now we put that in line 94, right? In the first parameter alert. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Well, we'll see if it works.
What was it? Couldn't see the controls.
So it should be good.
Okay.
And now it's a 3-finger up.
A 3-finger up. Okay.
Yeah. And oh lordy, not even a little bit.
No.
Right. All right. We need to put some print statements in somewhere. I guess in that listener. What do you think?
In here?
Yeah.
Okay. Inside the set state?
Yeah. Oh, either, I guess. Let's just maybe print like tween.value and see it work.
Okay.
See it go from 0 to 1. Oh, wait. Can you scroll down? into the build method. Yeah, look, we use widget.color and widget.color
Oh.
name.
Okay.
And we made a local variable for that. And it was
Okay.
just color.
So we should just.
And we haven't done it yet for color name.
That's yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that the magic? Should we see it?
I think this is going to really improve things.
happen?
Hey! Let's go. Let's go. All right. Now, what happens if we click it again?
I clicked it too fast and then it didn't do anything.
Uh-oh. Oh, it's not working at all. So the controller needs some love.
Oh, is it because we're not resetting it, or is it something
Yes.
to do with? Okay.
So on line 98, I think we can just make that a little smarter.
Okay.
Like you said, reset it first. You're totally right.
Reset it before.
Yeah, so controller dot reset,
Yep.
and then probably have to cascade both of those because they
Okay.
each return null by default.
Right.
All right, let's see how that works. Okay, so give it a click.
Do you want to do it? I feel like I'm taking all the.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I feel so honored.
Yeah.
Run the code that you just laboriously wrote. Great. And now does it go backwards? Click again. Oh, man. Now,
Nice.
because I think because we save the starting color here, what's nice about having, using your own animation controllers, and animated widgets do this nicely as well. But when you're doing this yourself, you can kind of set it so that if you only get halfway through the animation and something yanks you back, it should behave correctly. And I think this will do it. So let's try to click and then click halfway through. So
Okay.
click and then click again. And we're back to blue.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So now we are ready to animate the string.
Right.
Let's think about this. How could we animate the string? What might we do?
Is this the you could make the letters appear based on the tween value? You can make certain letters appear and disappear, maybe.
Yeah, that's kind of where my brain was going as well. Kind of like
Okay.
almost like a cursor is deleting the old name and then typing out the new name.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to keep driving, or what would you like?
You can drive.
Okay.
I feel like I can talk at you whilst you're driving.
Okay,
Um,
great.
do you take the tween value and then divide it by the number of letters? How would we know when to
Right,
remove a letter?
right.
And that
Wha-
could be different.
Something
depending-
like
yes,
that for sure.
Something like that.
So let's one change that we need to make is kind of following this pattern for
Yep.
color name. So we can scroll up, and this will be color name, which is a string name, and then we'll save the initial value. We have to do that. I guess we'll just do this name. Yeah.
We know to ignore those ones.
Wow. I really thought that would like fix it, and it just doesn't. Odd. It's been a long day. This may be obvious to the viewer at home, and if so, I apologize. But we're now ready to think about, where the hell are we? I mean, heck. We're
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
This is the one.
Yeah.
Well, I made scrolling look hard.
It's fine.
Okay, so it does the thing, and the name didn't update because we're not making that
Yeah.
smarter. So, so maybe we spend half of the time deleting the first value, and the second half of the time typing the second value.
Okay.
Seem reasonable?
Yeah.
So, I guess, and this was the if statement you
Essentially-
were writing.
Right. Yeah. So it's actually
Yes.
between 0 and 0.5.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So if tween.value is less than 0.5, then we'll do something. Otherwise, we'll do something else.
Yep.
So in here, we are deleting the current name. So deleting the old slash current,
Yep.
depending on how you look at it, name. Now, like you said, we kind of need to figure out how long to spend on each letter. So is this like an integer division situation? What do we want?
This is a double, or at least a double, right? Or a float. I don't know how granular does it go.
Oh, quite.
Okay.
But we could potentially just say, with millisecond granularity,
Okay.
we've got 500 milliseconds. So we could divide the, what is it? Oh, we'll need to save the starting string too, won't we? Final start name or color name equals color name. So,
Capital C.
oh, nice. So now we need to figure out, how many milliseconds per thing. So we have 500. I have no idea how to do integer division. Do you remember the syntax for that? It's like
The
this or
slash.
something?
Yeah.
That's it?
Well, not that.
Oh.
Just slash.
Oh, this does integer division by default?
Yeah, I feel like it does.
I don't.
Now you're making me doubt myself. Do you want me to look it up?
I just learned how to program.
Oh, don't say that.
So 500 divided by
Yeah.
the start color dot. Could we like make a lerp method for strings? Is that crazy talk?
I feel like you're going to try it anyways. If I said
Maybe we spitball it here, and then if it is coherent, then we'll wrap it up in an extension
Mhm.
method. That would be sweet.
Okay.
So 500 divided by the length of start color name dot length, and this tells us how many milliseconds per letter, right?
Yeah.
And so is the so final milliseconds per letter that we're deleting, and then we'll figure out how many of those have passed. So this would be tween dot value divided by milliseconds per letter. There's probably so many better ways to do this. This is final deleted letters. And so now we can set state to say, I'm laughing because I just have no idea if this is going to work. Color name will equal the start color name dot substring.
Right.
And we are 0, and then this is the number that we
Deleted.
deleted. So it's the length minus the number deleted, right?
Okay.
Does that compute?
Yeah, I think so. And then
Dot
minus 1.
Length, no. What am I typing? Yeah, dot length minus,
Minus 1 because of an index, not
deleted
like.
letters. And we need another minus 1?
Yeah.
You're so many steps ahead of me. It's not even funny. Hey, what's wrong with those? Oh, num deleted letters is probably a double. Yeah. So how do you do that? To int? Excellent. Excellent, Smithers. So if this works, it'll just incrementally delete Azure Sky or whatever we said. Are you ready?
But only one name, right?
Right, and it won't
okay.
type icon
Yeah.
red yet.
Okay, fine.
Here we go.
It removed
We got
letter.
one letter.
Okay.
Great. I was so excited. I thought it was
But
going
we
to
got
work.
one letter. That's pretty good.
What a tease. Okay. What happened here? So the length. So let's say it was.
Does it need to be in a loop or something? Like.
Well, we're in the loop because that's this whole thing is
okay,
the loop,
right. Okay.
So let's
It's
just
just removing one and then stopping.
print milliseconds per letter. So let's do like this, and then number deleted letters, and just do these numbers even make sense. So restart. Come here. Azure Sky. Click. What? So num deleted letters. Oh, it's getting really small. So num deleted letters. This isn't close to right. Do we just need to divide in the other way? Milliseconds per letter. No. Why didn't this work? Tween div. Oh, we didn't multiply it by 500. This is really going to help. I theorize.
When the number's this small, yes.
Yeah, right. So redo it. I don't know if we need to do that. Click. Oh, it stopped.
Oh, it stopped.
Why? Yeah, it did conclude at the end that it only wanted to get rid of 4 letters. I wonder if we have a rounding error that's like adding up, but no, that would be a lot. So our milliseconds per letter was 55. How long is Azure Sky? 5 for Azure, 4 for Sky in the space, so 9. So what's 500 divided by 9? Is, of course, it can math correctly. So yeah, why
It just stops at 4.
Where even is the code? Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's going on here? Tween dot value times 500, because this is times 500, right? Tween dot value. Well, if it was too low, then it would have. Oh, it's times 1,000. We need all of the milliseconds.
Halfway, because it is only going halfway. That would.
We need all of the milliseconds. Great. I love it. Okay, very good. We come back, and now.
Well done.
Let's
that is
go!
very good. Very, very good.
And so now it's an exercise of how much can we flip this logically for the back 9, as they call it. Retyping the new, now current name.
Yeah.
So these parameters, this does change because this is now widget.colorName. This is the target name.
Yeah, okay.
So widget, color name, that length. And then, so this should be the same, but it's not deleted letters anymore. It's not typed letters. So let's say num typed letters. Yep. And now our substring.
It's going from the, so you'll probably swap those?
Well, we're going to still type from the beginning of the string.
Oh, okay, yes. I'll take it back.
So start color name also, this isn't it. Oh, we're starting from, I have literally no idea what to write in this line.
So you were going from, you're deleting things from right to left, and now you're adding things.
Yeah.
So
we're starting
going from 0, and then.
So we want this to just work its way. Oh, it's just num typed letters. I'm going to feel really silly. And do we need a -1 this time?
Do we always need a -1 because of...
Don't know.
We could try it and then...
2int -1. Oh, why don't we use like clamp?
Okay.
Clamp at 0 and widget.colorName.length.
Okay.
Yeah, then we just don't have to care about it at all. Unless we don't get the last letter.
I like that. Okay.
Because then we would, but I don't think that will happen. All right. If you were a betting woman, what would you bet?
It's going to work perfectly. That's exclusive, right? So it won't include the last.
These are great questions.
Okay.
You know the right questions to ask. So delete. Oh, very wrong. Not close. So start color name. First of all, that isn't what we want. Oh, I think I see what the problem is here. Huh? Oh yeah, we gotta get rid of the length. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna need like a -500 somewhere. I don't know where. So tween dot value.
Why are we minusing 500?
Because the tween dot value starts at 500 milliseconds, but for us, that's 0% of the way through the second half.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So we need to figure out how to capture that somewhere. And I think it may be by subtracting 500, which would be like doing this.
Okay.
Who knows? Nope.
Halfway again.
Interesting, yeah.
See? Yeah.
All right. Let's use our noggins and figure out what's wrong. So at the right away, it just dropped in 4 letters. So num type letters the first time through. Sorry, do you want to drive?
No.
Okay, so num type letters the first time through immediately resolved to 4.
Halfway.
So why did that happen? Let's do this. Oh, I was real smart and I got rid of those prints. No, I didn't. It's right here. Okay, so come with me. We're already printing.
Yeah.
Great. So let's do it again, and then we won't have the other prints. That'll be better. So you clear, and now print. Whoa, it started right
Yeah.
away. That was odd.
I started with 5, right?
I think it was because this closure was already bound. So we are going
Okay.
to have to redo things. So our update in this closure, that's not a thing that can hot reload, which is
Okay.
quite the foot gun.
Yep.
Okay, so it deletes, and yes, it starts right there. So let's look at this first print
It
statement.
starts at 4. Starts at 4.
Yeah, so why is this happening? So num typed letters. We said tween.value, which at that point is going to basically be 0.5, right?
Right.
Like 0.5001. And then that's not the number of milliseconds.
And you changed that 500 to 1,000.
Yeah, and that science
that's-
experiment
yeah.
failed. That was terrible. So, oh, you know what's interesting? It started right at the end before. And then when I cut it in half, it started halfway through. But why would we not need to multiply this time? Like, if it was such that this would do nothing, or this would work, why would this be the case? Is this possibly the case? So the tween value will be about 0.5.
From 0.5 to 1, it travels.
And we'll
then-
divide by milliseconds per letter. So 0.5 over 62 is a very big number. So this is just totally wrong. So what number do we need to put here? I feel like we've bitten off like a riddle.
Yeah, and we're so close.
The first value that we want it to produce is 0. So we
Yep.
want 0.5 times some value. I think we still want that times 1,000.
Yeah, I don't think that we should remove
We
that.
should get
Yeah.
rid of it. Yeah. So times 1,000.
What happens when we do that?
I think it started like right at the end.
Okay.
Oh, right. There's some like 50% we need to chop off somewhere, and we just haven't figured out where to
Yeah.
put it. So that's where we still are. So right, this will delete Azure Sky and then start right at the end. Because we didn't account for the fact that 50... Oh, wait. Do we just subtract 0.5 from the tween before we multiply by 1,000? Because we just said we wanted 50% of the way through
Yeah.
to count as 0%.
To count
Right.
as 0%. Yeah.
through this second animation. But then we still want 100% of the way through the animation to count as 100% of the way.
Yes.
So we kind of say, what on earth do we say? So tween.value maybe minus 0.5, because that much we...
Have already traveled.
Yeah, that much doesn't count. So let's
Yeah.
think about how this would work then. Eventually it's going to get to 1. So we'll say 1 minus 0.5 is 0.5 times 1,000 milliseconds per letter. I feel like it's only going to type half the word.
Let's see.
Let's find out. Refresh. Rerun. Recry.
No.
What? I literally don't even know.
Cry. You got great. Well done.
It worked?
Yes.
How?
Well, let's have a look.
Yeah. So at the end value,
It was your minus 0.5. Is that what you were gunning for? We needed to put it somewhere to work out that we were
it's because
already gone.
it's because we have 500 here.
Right. Okay.
If we had 1,000 here, then it would have only typed half. We did
Okay.
it. It just clicked for me. Did it click for
Right.
you yet?
Not really.
Okay.
Okay.
So
That's
because
it. Yeah.
because the milliseconds per letter is only judged against 500 milliseconds.
Okay.
That means we only need to climb all the way to 500 milliseconds to complete,
And not to 1,000.
and not to
Right.
1,000.
Okay.
And now it worked.
Okay.
And folks, that's how you linearly interpolate a string. Easy peasy.
Yeah.
I think we need to watch it again because, oh man, that's a juicy animation. And what's kind of
And it's
fun
smooth. It is very smooth.
is the curve is involved here, right? Curved ease out. We can see it started typing faster and then slowed down.
And you
Maybe,
can change that.
yeah,
as
what's
well.
like a really nutty curve? Oh, there's some that like dip below 0 and kind of ascend above 1.
Okay.
That will not make sense for strings. So we can't use those. What I want like a dynamic one though. How about ease in out court?
Yeah.
This should be a really like slow finish or some such. So slow, and then it zips around, and then it
Okay.
finishes slow. Yeah, so the curve
Okay.
is also taken into account.
We could have passed that in and like made it very custom.
Oh.
As well.
Right. Should we?
We could.
Okay. Do you want to drive for that?
Sure.
All right.
Okay. So we go straight back up to the top.
Yeah, I think.
And
Yeah.
pass it in to here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Should we make it required? We're going to make it required.
I feel like we shouldn't. We should
No?
have linear maybe be the default.
Okay. Maybe we should.
Yeah, curve. Yeah, nice. So just this dot curve.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm saying it as if you don't
It's
know.
okay.
Well,
Alright,
we'll need to
something
give
like
it the
that.
default.
Yeah. Okay, so can we set it here?
In the constructor.
Okay, that's right. Okay. Right.
Yep.
Curves?
Yeah, just like color.
Okay.
It's in the plural there. And then linear. Yeah, nice. All right. Now, the only other thing we have to change is we use widget.curve,
Right. Okay.
which is down in the something.
Where are we
We
setting?
just past it. You're at the top, line 90 something. 2.
Here.
Yep.
Right.
Widget.curve. Woo! Okay. And so this should, why don't you run it again, and we
Okay.
should see a linear curve. It should just not do anything interesting. Amazing. We did it. Oh, click it halfway through and
Inspiring.
let's see because we did the color. Oh no.
That's not look good. Okay.
We have something, right?
What was the
Yeah,
thing?
let's see. Where did we get? Let's look at look at the stack trace. See where we passed something. Oh, we probably in our substring. Oh, there's probably a fair amount of like juggling
Yeah.
to take care of in that,
Yep.
which isn't a thing that I wanted to do. Unless you want to.
I feel like yeah, we shouldn't do that. Okay,
But, you
cool.
know, we've demonstrated the kind of concept of this. And now this was highly academic and fairly contrived because if you wanted to do this, you wouldn't do this. You would use, do you remember what it's called?
I want to say inherited widget
Or
plus
implicit something?
Sorry, implicitly. Let me get
Passwords are so hard.
yeah. Third time.
Impossible. But yeah, there's a class that you can subclass. It's also what all of the animated container, position, etc. They subclass this.
Yes.
And
Implicitly animated widget class.
there it is.
Yep.
So that's actually what you would use if you needed to do this. But I always feel like being at peace with what is going on in those widgets is pretty helpful.
Yeah.
And also you could always peek into that widget and you will very likely see an implementation far smarter than what we just stapled together.
It's the best way to understand how something works.
Right.
Yeah, do
Yeah.
it yourself.
Well, Tia, any closing thoughts?
Try it yourself, definitely. I think that I've learned loads. Thank you.
Amazing. Yeah. Well, thank you for co-piloting nicely and braving a foreign keyboard. One of
Yeah.
my greatest fears in life. But folks, wait, you read us in. You want to read us out?
Thank you very much for joining us on The Boring Show.